500 rupees भनेर चाहिँ उनले त्यतिखेर एक्सेप्टेन्स पनि गर्छ कन्ट्र्याक्ट 500 रुपैयाँ पनि माग्छ so that's how acceptance happens sometimes you know but generally what happens is acceptance ko one of the rules of acceptance is acceptance has to be communicated communication हुनु पर्छ जस्तै for example अर्चनाले भनेकै कुरामा let's say मलाई अफर मन पर्यो र मैले एक्सेप्टेन्स पोस्ट गरे है मैले पोस्ट गरिसकेपछि त्यो एक्सेप्टेन्स गरेको पोस्ट लेटर डज नॉट रिच द अफरर एट अल पुग्दै पुगेन अरे के गर्ने अब व्हाट ह्यापन्स त्यो अफररले के भन्ठान्छ एक्सेप्ट गर्यो भन्ठान्छ भन्ठान्दैन किनभने एक्सेप्टेन्स लेटर उसको आइपुगेकै छैन तर एक्सेप्टरले के भन्ठान्छ oh मैले एक्सेप्ट गरे यो बाइन्डिङ कन्ट्र्याक्ट हुन्छ that is it has to the communication must reach to the offerer okay all right so अर्को question any other question I want a lot of questions so I need questions if you don't ask me questions then you know मलाई थाहा हुँदैन कि तिमीले पढाइसकेको छैन कति बुझाएको छ भन्ने थाहा so please ask lot of questions lot अरु केही छ सोध्नु पर्ने
सर यो हामीले त्यो बसको एक्जाम्पल दिनु भएको थियो नि लास्ट टाइम जस्तै बस रोक्छ अनि त्यसपछि हामी चढ्छौं अनि इट्स लाइक इम्प्लाइड अफर जस्तो भयो भन्नु हैन तर त्यो पीडीएफ मा पढ्दाखेरि त that thing comes under invitation to treat भन्ने के एक्ज्याक्टली के चाहिँ हो यो
okay now all right true you've already again rightly said अस्ति हामीले invitation to offer पढ्यौ नि हामीले हैन
हजुर सर
मैले invitation to offer did I say about invitation to offer inviting you to make an offer मैले के assignment दिएको थिएँ by the way
assignment चाहिँ elements of contract पढ्नु भनेर दिनु भएको थियो okay
elements of contract मा दिएको थिएँ मैले right
हामीले पढेको चाहिँ सर अफरमा requirements of offer अनि what happens when an offer is not accepted
yeah
and
okay now Archana तिमीले भनेको कुरा एकदमै ठीक हो है I agree what you've said inviting someone to make an offer and implied contract एउटै हुन सक्छ okay कसरी हुन सक्छ भने now what happens one of the मैले अस्ति अफर कुरा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अफरमा चाहिँ लीगल रिलेशनशिप हुनु पर्छ एक्सप्रेस इम्प्लाइड हुनु पर्छ अफर कन्डिसनल हुनु पर्छ भनेर मैले भनेको थिएँ हैन कम्युनिकेटेड गर्नु पर्छ भनेर चाहिँ इन्भिटेसन is not an offer कसैले तिमीलाई केही कुरा इन्भाइट गर्छ भने if somebody invites you for something that invitation is not an offer right offer has to be it's a different thing कुनै घरमा मान्छेले आउनु त मकै गरेर आउ खाऊ भनेर कसैले इन्भाइट गर्छ that's not an offer okay now तिमीले भनेको कुरामा चाहिँ what I want to say is that you're walking on the street and if you saw a nice shirt or nice sunglasses and if you see a nice sunglasses inside the windows of a shop and what you do is and you like that thing okay you like that glasses you like that top you like that t-shirt and you go close by and you want to buy that okay if you want to buy that you want to know the price I know. Now what you do you closely watch that object and there is a price in it as well let's say you want to buy that glasses sunglasses kinnu cha the glasses ko paisa herdakeri it's 5000 rupees now my question is you like the glasses you like there's a price in it you like if everything you are ready to buy it do you think the glasses which has a price display price the price is displayed in the glasses is an offer or not
it's an invitation
if I ask you this question, yes now how it's an invitation and offer invitation of offer कसरी भयो त How do you think, or why, what is invitation offer? What do you think an invitation of offer is?
त्यो इन्भाइटरले चाहिँ that person is willing to enter into negotiation जस्तो हो अनि अफर गर्ने चाहिँ अर्को पार्टी हुन्छ जसले म किन्छु भनेर आउँछ उ चाहिँ अफरर हुन्छ.
Now, invitation to offer is a mechanism where, you know, it invites the other party to make an offer, okay? So that you want to become an acceptor. You understand what I'm saying? So the acceptor, what acceptor does is, acceptor invites the offerer to his place, to her place. So you're inviting someone to make an offer to you so that you can accept that offer. So displaying things in the shops, invitation for the customer to make an offer to the seller so that seller can accept it. Now, what do you do after you've seen that glass? Let's say, let's complete this story. You've seen that glass and the sunglass dekhiyo, and it is a price pen dekhiyo 5,000 rupees. So you want to buy it. Now, what do? You go inside the shop. You know? Now, once you go inside the shop, what do you do to the glass? You take out that glass and you go to the counter, you go to the cashier and say, I want to buy this in 5,000 rupees. That's what you do, isn't it?
Yes.
And the seller said, of course. The 5,000 lira are or displaying things are generally not an offer. I mean, 50% offer or 25% off for big sale. Those are not offer in true sense. Legally, those are not an offer. Those are, they are inviting customers to come inside and accept 25% discount, 50% discount, and go to the counter and make an offer to the counter, or make an offer to the seller, or make an offer to the cashier, saying that, hey, I want to buy this on 50% discount. Will you give me? Please give me. Whenever you make an offer, the customer makes an offer, and the seller accepts your offer by accepting cash. So that's what invitation to offer is. So likewise, you said in the bus or in a tempo, if I want to go in a tempo, the tempo को मान्छेले के भन्छ? आउनुस् म तपाईलाई पुर्याइदिन्छु भन्छ कि भन्दैन? भन्दैन, के पनि भन्दैन उसले. कहाँ जाने भनेर उसलाई थाहा छ, तर त्यो ड्राइभरलाई म कहाँ जाने भने उसलाई थाहा हुँदैन. त्यो रुटको बारेमा उसलाई थाहा हुन्छ, रुटको बारेमा कस्टमरलाई पनि थाहा हुन्छ. The customer, what customer does? ऊ चाहिँ टेम्पो भित्र बस्छ, बस भित्र बस्छ र उसले ड्राइभरलाई के भन्छ, मलाई मैती देवीसम्म, पुतली सडकसम्म, बानेश्वरसम्म छोडिदिनुस् न भन्छ. So who makes an offer? The passenger makes an offer to the driver, saying that, will you please drop me to Baneshwar? So the driver, takes you to Baneshwar, accepts your offer by taking you to Baneshwar. Understand what I'm saying? So
Yes,
that's
sir.
an invitation. So, like even if it is an invitation, sometimes what happens is कुनै कुनै सुपरमार्केटमा स्टोर्सहरुमा नेपालमा चाहिँ त्यस्तो छैन, स्टोर्सहरुमा गयो भने so that a physical person, personले तिम्रो क्याशियर आफै बसेर चाहिँ तिम्रो त्यो स्क्यान गरेर टोटल कति भयो भनेर भन्दैन के. So what you do is तिम्रो त्यो के भन्छ त्यसलाई, स्ट्रोलरमा जब हामी त्यो सामानहरु राख्छौं, एक्सक्युज मी, डिपार्टमेन्ट स्टोरमा, सो हामी सेल्फ काउन्टरमा जान्छौं र आफैले स्क्यान गर्छौं, त्यो कम्प्युटरमा डिस्प्ले देखाउँछ, आफै स्क्यान गर्छौं र टोटल प्राइस आउँछ, त्यही कम्प्युटरमा we swipe our card and we buy it. The cashier नै चाहिँदैन, acceptance. Okay, that's implied. Okay, so there is no offer and acceptance, express thing. Okay, all right, good. Other question? Avas is here. Avas ke cha hal khabar? How are you?
सब ठीक छ सर. हेलो.
All right, good, Avas. Good.
Yes sir.
Okay, aru ke questions ha? So guys, एउटा कुरा के बुझ्नु भने नि अस्ति पनि मैले भनेको थिएँ कि भनेको थिएँ मलाई थाहा छैन. जब मैले पढ्न दिन्छु र पढ्न दिइसकेपछि म के भन्ठान्छु भने you guys have read भन्ठान्छु, पढेको म भन्ठान्छु. That's how I understand, right? Even if you have not read, I understand that you have read. And जब मैले के क्वेसन छ भनेर सोधिसकेपछि कसैसँग क्वेसन छैन भने मैले एक्सप्लेन गरिसकेपछि अथवा पढेको कुरामा के क्वेसन छ भनेर कसैले सोधेन भने what I presume is that you have understood and that's why you don't have question. Okay, भोलि पर्सि मैले बुझाएको थिएन ए यो पढाएको थिएँ र यो पढाएकै थिएन भनेर क्वेसन रेज चाहिँ ब्याकफायर गर्न पाइदैन है. So let's make it clear. Okay, ल भने ल कानुन हो नि हैन.
Hello, sir.
Hazur, yes, who has a question? Pratima has a question. Okay.
Sir, त्यो हामीले एलिमेन्ट्समा फ्री कन्सेन्ट पढ्छौँ नि, त्यसमा मिसरिप्रेजेन्टेसनमा ब्रीच अफ कन्ट्र्याक्ट, ब्रीच अफ ड्युटी हुन्छ, त्यो भने चाहिँ के हो सर?
Misrepresentationमा breach of duty?
हजुर.
Misrepresentationमा breach of duty हुँदैन प्रतिमा. कहाँ पढ्यौ तिमीले त्यस्तो?
मैले सर त्यो गुगलमा पढ्दै थ्री टाइप अफ मिसरिप्रेजेन्टेसन. फर्स्ट इज अनवान्टेड स्टेटमेन्ट एन्ड सेकेन्ड इज ब्रीच अफ ड्युटी एन्ड थर्ड वान इज इन्क्लुडिङ मिस्टेक अबाउट द सब्जेक्ट म्याटर. सो आई डोन्ट गेट अबाउट द ब्रीच अफ ड्युटी.
Okay, good. All right, ठिक छ. हामी त्यसलाई पढौँला. किनभने generally what happens is misrepresentationमा चाहिँ breach भन्ने खालको शब्द हुँदैन हैन. पहिला to understand what misrepresentation is, we have to understand what free consent is. Okay, free consent बुझ्यो भने अनि misrepresentation पनि बुझिन्छ. So I'll that by one, either elements of a contract. There are a lot of elements. Okay, जस्तै अस्ति भन्यो होला, अस्ति कुरा गरे हामीले हैन. के भन्छ एउटा जस्तै offer and acceptance. I think we talked about it. Consideration, contractual capacity, free consent, lawful object, and so on. So let's start with offer and acceptance. I think you've understood this, हैन. बुझिसके जस्तो लाग्छ offer and acceptance. Acceptance पनि हामीले पढ्यो है अस्ति.
पढेन सर एक्सेप्टेन्स चाहिँ. हजुरले आफै पढ्नु भन्नुभएको थियो. क्लासमा चाहिँ डिस्कस गरेछ. Okay, I'll explain very shortly. I don't want to यो एकदम लेन्थी पनि जरुरी छैन, सजिलै छ बुझिन्छ हैन. Acceptance is offer भने अस्ति हामीले offer भने के भने and statement of to do or not to do something which is made by one party to another भनेको थियो नि हैन. So if you talk about acceptance is accepting the same thing that has been made by the offerer. Okay, so you accept whatever is made by the offerer. Now, do you accept the same thing that has been made by the offerer? If you have that question, the answer is yes. Okay, if I ask you the question, can offerer or can acceptor has to accept the exact same thing that has been made by the offerer, भन्यो भने do you think this statement is false and or true? Whenever a question I have, you should be able to answer the question. So, what do you think? True, sir.
Do you think the acceptor has to accept exact same thing that has been made by the offerer? The answer is yes or no.
I think both are yes or no.
Yes. Pratima said yes.
Or no, both, I think.
Or no, both. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Boys? Okay, Archana says yes.
Mirror image of the offer भनेर what it is.
In order for it to be acceptance, it needs to be accepted completely, होला sir.
Yeah. Okay, now see, the answer is yes. किनभने अफर जस्तो छ त्यही नै स्वीकार्नु पर्छ एक्सेप्टरले. किनभने do you know that we studied counter offer?
Yes, sir.
Counter offer भने सुनेको थियो नि हैन अस्ति लास्ट टाइम हामीले काउन्टर अफर भने के हो the offer that you make to the first offer हैन. You do not accept the offer but you make another offer. So if I say that I want to sell my watch in 5,000 rupees, whatever, hey guys, do you want to buy my my watch in 5,000 rupees? You don't want to buy that watch in 5,000 rupees. You want to say, now you make a counter offer to me saying that, sir, now you are making a counter to my offer. My offer 5,000 offer gets terminated. To offer timro offer valid. So 5,000, 4,000 wala offer valid. Now what happens? Now I have to accept that offer as it is to make a contract. Or I say no, maybe no, I don't want to give in 4,000 rupees. I say that I want to give you in 4,500 rupees. Now your 4,000 gets terminated and my offer 4,500 again survives. Now if you want to accept, you can accept in 4,500 rupees. So bargain huna sakcha. So whichever the last offer that we agree is the final offer, right? हामीले जुन फाइनल अफर बार्गेन गर्दा गर्दा जुन लास्टमा हुन्छ त्यो अफर चाहिँ इट इज एक्सेप्टेड एज इट इज. जसरी एक्सेप्ट गरे त्यही नै एक्सेप्ट हुन्छ. सो एक्सेप्टेन्स चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ भने जुन रूपमा जुन सेन्समा जसरी उले प्रेजेन्ट गरेछ त्यही अनुसार नै एक्सेप्ट हुन्छ. बिकज त्यो बार्गेन गर्दा नेगोसिएट गर्दा गर्दा लास्टमा रहेको अफर चाहिँ इट इज एक्सेप्टेड एज इट इज. त्यसैले अघि मैले स्टेटमेन्ट भने अनुसार offer is always accepted as it is. What happens once you make an offer and during acceptance त्यो चाहिँ चेन्ज भइरहन सक्छ, but the last offer whichever both the parties is willing to agree on is accepted as it is. Okay, understood? Good, I think you have. Now offer कस्तो हुन्छ भने now अस्ति हामीले के भनेको थियो भन्दाखेरि अफर चाहिँ अनकन्डिसनल अफर चाहिँ कन्डिसनल हुन्छ भनेर भनेको थियो. यु रिमेम्बर? अफर इज अलवेज अ कन्डिसनल. तिमी यो गर्यो भने म यो गर्छु भन्ने हुन्छ. तर एक्सेप्टेन्स इज नट कन्डिसनल, एक्सेप्टेन्स इज अनकन्डिसनल. अनकन्डिसनल भनेको त्यहाँ कुनै कन्डिसन नराखी चाहिँ एक्सेप्टेन्स गरिन्छ भनेर भनिन्छ. सो इट इज ट्रू एज वेल. इफ यु पुट अ कन्डिसन while accepting the offer, it is not an acceptance, it is rather a counter offer. तिमी अफरलाई कुनै के भन्छ कन्डिसन राखेर एक्सेप्ट गर्यो भने त्यो एक्सेप्टेन्स होइन, त्यो काउन्टर अफर हो. So if you have to accept an offer, you have to accept as it is, unconditionally, without putting any condition, unqualified, and absolutely accept गर्नुपर्छ. अनि communicate गर्नुपर्छ offer. Okay, offer has to be communicated. So communication is very important. Like offer needs to be communicated, acceptance also has to be communicated to the offerer. Otherwise, offerer would not know if there is any acceptance or not. Now, that's why if offer has to be communicated, remaining silent is not an offer. चुप लाएर बस्नु चाहिँ offer होइन. Okay, being silent is not an offer. You have to speak out or do such thing which makes the communication heard by the offerer. कि एक्सप्रेसली बोल्नु पर्यो कि लेखेर बोल्नु पर्यो कि मुखले बोल्नु पर्यो, that's express. कि एक्सन द्वारा चाहिँ एक्सेप्टेन्स गर्नु पर्यो. ओके, हे मलाई एक कप चिया दिनुस् न, मलाई एक कप कफी दिन मिल्क कफी दिनुस् न भनेर मैले कुनै मान्छेलाई भने त्यो मान्छेले हुन्छ म दिन्छु भन्दैन लेखेर पनि हुन्छ म ल्याउँछु भन्दैन उसले के गरेर ल्याउँछ बाइ एक्सन कफी बनाएर मलाई ल्याइदिन्छ सो माई अफर इज एक्सेप्टेड through an action. That's an implied offer, implied acceptance. Okay, so acceptance is expressed or implied, but being silent, you don't express, you don't write, or you don't bring coffee. That is not an acceptance. Okay. Now, if you go to my slide, you can find those things as well. And any confusion, you always can ask me. Okay, I'm not going too much with the acceptance now, offer and acceptance. Now let's go with elements of a contract. Let's study now free consent or agi ulle ke bhane free consent e padhau hai ta agi malai pratima le sorayo हैन pratima misrepresentation ko bare ma okay good. All right, now let's start with free consent. Now what do you think a free consent is? Avas, free consent भने के होला भन त मलाई can you tell me what free consent is? के होला?
Hello, sir. I have no idea actually.
पढे कि पढेन आवाज?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, Robin, free consent भने के होला?
So free consent भनेको चाहिँ जसमा लाग्छ मलाई यदि दुईवटा पार्टीले सेम एग्रीमेन्टहरु गर्छन् भने सर एउटै माइन्डफुल सिचुएसन लिएर एउटै टु पार्टीज विथ त्यही नै होला सर एउटा सेम एग्रीमेन्ट दुईटा पार्टीले सेम माइन्डफुल स्टेटमा चाहिँ एग्रीमेन्ट गर्छन् भने चाहिँ त्यो कन्सेन्ट हुन सक्छ सर फ्री कन्सेन्ट
न माइन्डफुल स्टेट भने के हो?
सेम युनिसन अफ माइन्ड भनेको सर सेम
Okay, all right, okay. Ayushma, what do you think a free consent is?
फ्री कन्सेन्ट भनेको चाहिँ कुनै पनि पार्टीलाई चाहिँ कुनै पनि डिसिजन लिनको लागि फोर्स नगर्ने.
Okay. All right, yeah, you're going good, Ayushma. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Okay, you're done. All right.
Yes, sir.
Swikriti, के होला free consent?
Free consent, both parties agreeing it's a thing in the same sense of mind.
Okay. Okay. All right, Manik.
हजुर सर
के हो फ्री कन्सेन्ट भनेको के होला?
यो फ्री कन्सेन्ट भनेको नामले नै फ्री भने त सर हैन अब सहमति स्वतन्त्र हुनु पर्यो सर दुईटैको अन विलले चाहिँ दुईटैले आफ्नो इच्छाले चाहिँ म गर्छु ल भनेर चाहिँ आउनु पर्यो सर यही हो फ्री कन्सेन्ट भनेको कन्सेन्ट इज सेड टु बी फ्री सर त्यही हो नट अस्ति भन्नुभयो जस्तै अस्ति हजुरले नट एफेक्टेड भन्नुभयो जस्तै करकापले कुनै करकापले हुनु भएन फ्रडले हुनु भएन कुनै मिस्टेकले मिसरिप्रेजेन्टेसनले अनि त्यसपछि अनड्यू इन्फ्लुएन्सले अन विलले एक्सेप्ट गर्नु पर्यो
ओके नाउ मोनिकले भनेको कुरा मलाई एउटा कुरा के चित्त बुझ्यो भने एभ्रीबडी ट्राइड भेरी वेल हैन फ्री कन्सेन्ट भन्न साथ लेट्स युज द वर्ड है शब्दले के बनाउँछ भने consent is free and free consent consent के हो your assent your sahamati हैन when your sahamati is free then it's called free consent swatantra sahamati भनेको when your consent becomes free, then when your sahamati becomes swatantra, there has to be मेरो सोचाइ कहिले स्वतन्त्र हुन्छ अथवा फ्री हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि सर्टेन कुराले अफेक्ट नगरे भने मेरो कुरा फ्री कन्सेन्ट फ्री हुन्छ, राइट? सो फ्री कन्सेन्ट इज that consent which you give to the contract, which you provide to the contract whenever you, let's say somebody makes an offer, and when that offer is accepted, that acceptance must be given with a free consent. Or whenever a person makes an offer, that offer must be made in a free consent. कसैले दबाब दिएर पनि उले अफर गर्नु हुँदैन र कसैले दबाब लिएर पनि एक्सेप्टेन्स गर्नु हुँदैन. So a contract has to accept it free. The consent सहमति जुन हामी करारमा दिन्छौं त्यो सहमति चाहिँ स्वतन्त्र हुनुपर्छ. So when it is free, when it is स्वतन्त्र, कहिले हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि 5 things when it is in contract or in your consent, then we have to understand that the consent is not free. If those 5 things that I'm going to say now is contained in your consent, त्यो 5 वटा तत्व तिम्रो कन्सेन्टमा तिम्रो सहमतिमा छ भने we have to understand, it is understood that the consent is not free. Now त्यो के हो त 5 वटा तत्व भन्दाखेरि number 1 is coercion, number 2 is undue influence, number 3 is misrepresentation, number 4 is fraud, and number 5 is mistake. So if these 5 things are contained in your consent, then it is not a free consentated contract. Simple as that. Now in a free consent पढ्दाखेरि हामीले के पढ्नु पर्छ? यो 5 वटा तत्व पढ्नु पर्छ. 5 वटा तत्व पढ्यो भने then we will understand what free consent is. Now I don't want to go importance consent किन free हुनु पर्यो भने importance I think you can write it. Okay, now let's start with coercion. Coercion लाई नेपालीमा अघि मनिकले भने जस्तै यसलाई कर्काप भन्छ. कर्काप भन्ने शब्द सुनेको छ क्लासले?
छ सर.
ओके, के हो कर्काप भने? हुन्छ के होला?
कर्काप भन्नाले अब दबाब दिएर अथवा डर देखाएर कर गरेर उसलाई इच्छा भए पनि नभए पनि कर गरेर गर्न लगाउने केही कुरा.
या यस्तो किसिमले कर गर्ने जसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ उसको लाइफमा थ्रेटनिङ होस्, उसको फ्यामिलीमा थ्रेटन होस्, ओके, र उसलाई चाहिँ केही कुरा गर्न दबाब दिएर चाहिँ बाध्य पार्ने, त्यसलाई कर्काप भन्छ. अंग्रेजीमा कोर्सन भन्छ. So you threaten your friend or you threaten someone to enter into a contract by creating such thing which makes the person enter into a contract. Okay, threatening of detaining someone. Let's say मलाई कसैले थ्रेटन गरेर म तिमीलाई थुन्नमा राख्छु, थुन्दिन्छु, बाँधिदिन्छु, तैले गर्नस् भन्यो भने then that's a कर्काप. That's coercing me to enter into a contract by threatening me, or says that I will threaten, I'll detain your person, I'll detain your family, I detain your relatives भनेर भन्यो भने then I'm coerced. Okay, that's called coercion. Now let's say if I was not coerced, okay, if I was not coerced, would I sign that contract? Would I accept with the terms and conditions mentioned in the contract? Absolutely no. यदि मलाई त्यो कर्काप नगरे म त करार साइन गर्थेँ होला? गर्दिनँ थिएँ. तर मलाई कोर्स गरेको हुनाले, कर्काप गरेको हुनाले I was bound to sign a contract. So once that contract is signed, it's a binding. Okay, but I do not have the consent in that contract. Okay, understand this. अहिले यति नै बुझौँ है त. Let's go with misrepresentation. Anybody wants to try what misrepresentation is? Anyone? What do you think a misrepresent? Agi Pratimale a question so that के होला Pratima misrepresentation भनेको? Do you want to try? Pratima, are you there? Pratima seems to be gone. Anyone class अरु कोही छ ट्राई गर्ने मने तिमीले ट्राई गर्दै त फेरि एकचोटी ल त
सर कन्ट्र्याक्टलाई जसरी राइट वेमा जसरी रिप्रेजेन्ट गर्नुपर्ने हो त्यो तरिकाले नगरेर त्यो भन्दा अब बेग्लै तरिकाले रिप्रेजेन्ट गर्यो भने चाहिँ त्यसलाई चाहिँ कन्ट्र्याक्ट
Okay. Yeah, I like your answer. It's not all correct, but I like it. Avas, you want to try this one?
Sir, I think it's not giving full information while making an offer.
Okay. While trying to make a contract, I know, not giving full information.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Archana, you're trying to, you want to say something?
I can try, sir.
Okay,
Misrepresentation
go ahead.
भनेको चाहिँ misstatement जस्तो उसको intention चाहिँ राम्रै हुन्छ तर that person is also not aware about it अनि
Okay.
जस्तै for example म फोन किन्न गएँ अनि that person says सबै राम्रो छ it's the best phone भनेर मैले फोन लिएर आएँ later on I found out कि त्यसको sound system बिग्रेको रहेछ अब त्यो मान्छे पनि he was not aware about it तर
Yeah.
it happened to be a default in that product so this is
Okay.
misrepresentation.
Okay. All right. Good try, Tixela. Good. Now, what happens is misrepresentation is a simple statement. It's a false statement. It's a false statement. That means the statement that whatever you're trying to say is not true, right? It's a false statement which is made by one party to the other party. So on the basis of that false statement, the other person enters into a contract with the other party. Okay, so you make a false statement, and that false statement is the basis of making a contract, entering into a contract. But the person who is making a false statement does not know that it is a false statement. अघि अर्चनाले भने जस्तै मैले एउटा statement बोलिरहेको छु हैन I'm talking about something, but whatever I'm talking, I do not know that I'm talking false. म एक्ज्याक्टली रङ कुरा भनिरहेको छु अथवा फल्स कुरा भनिरहेको छु अथवा अनट्रु कुरा भनिरहेको छु बोल्ने मान्छेलाई पनि थाहा हुँदैन बिकज द पर्सन हु इज स्पिकिङ डज नट वान्ट टु लाई or does not have an intention to lie, but only does not know that is false. So on the basis of my false statement, you enter into a contract, you sign a contract with me. So once you sign a contract, it's a binding, okay? It's a binding and it's already a contract. Let's say, had you known that my statement is false, would you sign the contract? Would you give a consent to it? Definitely no. So you give a consent. You give a consent on what thing? On a false thing, which the person who was speaking did not know that it was false. That's why your consent is not free in the contract. Had you known, you would not have given your consent. But you do not know that it's not true. You gave your consent. That's why your consent is not free. To say in misrepresentation, you make such a statement which is false, where the person making the statement also does not know it is false, and on the basis of that false statement, the other party enters into a contract. That is called a contract by misrepresentation. Okay, त्यसैले थाहा भएको भए कन्सेन्टै दिइदैन त्यो नथाहा भएको हुनाले कन्सेन्ट दिएको हुनाले यो कन्सेन्ट इज नट फ्री. That's why it is called misrepresentation by a contract. Okay, contract by a misrepresentation. Okay, I want you to study more on this. This is all. Now, Pratimale bhaneko कुरा चाहिँ breach को कुरा चाहिँ misrepresentation मा आउँदैन. Okay. Okay, I'll पछि explain गर्छु. Maybe त्यसमा कुनै इनपुटहरु आउँछ कि. Now let's go with let's go. Okay, एउटा misrepresentation एउटा थाहा पाउनु पर्ने कुराहरु. Okay, misrepresentation गर्दाखेरि, whenever you are making a misrepresentation, when you are talking about false statement, that statement must be of fact. Okay, statement of fact, not of opinion or law. Just say, agi अर्चनाले example दियो, यो radio अथवा यो device कस्तो छ भनेर भन्दाखेरि शपकीपरले के भन्छ नि, it's good, यो राम्रो छ यो, हैन, it's very good भनेर भन्यो भने उले चाहिँ रेडियोको फ्याक्ट को बारेमा भन्यो भने, now that becomes an misrepresentation. भोलि शेयर बढ्छ कि बढ्दैन होला भनेर कसैले सोध्यो भने, हैन, भोलि शेयर बढ्छ कि बढ्छ भोलि एकदम खतरा बढ्छ है शेयर, यस्तो माथि गइराछ कि भोलिको शेयर त बढ्छ. भोलि शेयर बढ्छ कि बढ्दैन भन्ने कुरा फ्याक्ट हो कि होइन? इट्स नट अ फ्याक्ट, राइट? भोलिको शेयर बढ्छ बढ्दैन ओपिनियन हो. भोलि बेर शेयर बढ्न पनि सक्छ, नबढ्न पनि सक्छ. भोलि पानी पर्न पनि सक्छ, नपर्न पनि सक्छ. सो मैले भोलि पानी पर्न सक्छ अथवा शेयर बढ्न सक्छ भने that is my opinion. So on the basis of my opinion, somebody enters into a contract, then that is not misrepresentation. त्यसलाई misrepresentation भनिदैन. You cannot claim that, you cannot say that मेरो consent चाहिँ अब छैन है भनेर भन्न मिल्दैन. Because in opinion there cannot be a misrepresentation. Likewise in law, when you are talking about law, it cannot be also misrepresentation. Sir, for example, जस्तै तिमीले tax VAT चाहिँ 10% तिरे पुग्छ है भनेर भन्यो भने, if I say that if I sign a contract and which mentions about VAT, paying VAT, right? So but VAT चाहिँ 10% हो है भनेर मैले भने भने, and you sign a contract mentioning 10%, but VAT is actually 13%. Now later on you find out that it's 13%. Now you cannot say that it's misrepresentation, because मलाई पनि थाहा थिएन 13% भन्ने, तर मैले 10% भने, हैन. तर later on if it is proved that it is for 13%, it is not regarded as misrepresentation. किनभने law भनेको कुरा सबैलाई थाहा हुनुपर्छ भन्ने हुन्छ. So in expressing your opinion and you are talking about law, in that case, even if I not saying the truth, that is not regarded as misrepresentation. Misrepresentation हुनालाई this must be false statement of fact. Fact को false statement हुनुपर्छ. Okay, good. Okay, now let's talk about fraud. Okay, what is fraud? Q fraud. What do you think of fraud is? स्वीकृति fraud भने के होला?
फ्रड भनेको चाहिँ अब कसैले अब थापाई पनि झुकाएर कसैलाई कन्ट्र्याक्टमा ल्याउनु भन्ने लाग्छ.
थापाई झुकाएर भन्नाले अलि can you explain a little bit more? अलिकति बढी थोरै.
मान्छेले अब जस्तो जग्गा देखाउन गयो हैन, अनि जग्गा देखाउने ठाउँमा चाहिँ उसले एकदम राम्रो जग्गा छ भनेर भने चाहिँ मान्छेलाई भन्छ, त्यो मान्छेले किन्यो, तर उसलाई थाहा छ त्यो तर बर्खा आउने बेलामा चाहिँ त्यहाँ बाढी आउँछ अरे के, त्यो बेच्ने मान्छेलाई थाहा थियो तर उसले चाहिँ बेच्दियो अरे कि त्यो नभनिकन. त्यो पनि एउटा फ्रडै हो जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई चाहिँ.
Okay.
सर मलाई लाग्छ यो चाहिँ यो अघि
Yes, Robin.
जुन मिसरिप्रेजेन्टेसनको कुरा गर्यो नि सर, त्यसमा चाहिँ इन्टेन्सन चाहिँ पोजिटिभ हुन्छ होला हैन? त्यसलाई किनकि जसले अफर गरिरा हुन्छ त्यसलाई नि त्यसको बारेमा थाहा चाहिँ हुँदैन, तर यसमा चाहिँ ठीक विपरीत चाहिँ यसमा चाहिँ थाहा हुन्छ. फ्रड भनेको त नेगेटिभ नै आयो नि त सर, हैन? त्यसपछि जसरी कसैलाई तपाईले सेल गरिरहेको छु भने मलाई त्यसको बारेमा इन्फर्मेसन चाहिँ हुन्छ, तर तपाईलाई नै डिसिभ गर्छु भने, जानी नै डिसिभ गर्छु भने मलाई त्यो थाहा हुँदैन पनि त्यसलाई चाहिँ फ्रड भनिन्छ होला सर.
Yeah. Well, That's true. Fraud भन्नाले itself is a fraud. हैन, fraud भन्नाले चाहिँ intention to lie. Okay, you have an intention to tell false things. Okay, तिम्रो उद्देश्य नै के हुन्छ नि, यसलाई म झुट झुक्याउँछु, झुट बोल्छु, झुट बोलेर चाहिँ यसलाई म फसाउँछु भन्ने हुन्छ. That's a fraud. Misrepresentation मा चाहिँ त्यो intention हुँदैन. You do not have an intention to lie. You do not have intention to deceive other. You don't have intention to tell not true things. But in fraud, it's opposite, that you have an intention to lie. You know the truth, you know the reality, but still you lie about it. That's a fraud. Okay, Arsenal example, no, I mean, you know that this radio is not gonna work. It's khatam, you know, like it is not working. It does not work. You know it, and the product, the manufacturing, it's a manufacturing defect. What do you say? No, it's one of wonderful radio. एकदम खतरा छ, राम्रो छ, manufacturing defect पनि छैन, के पनि छैन, problem नै छैन भन्यो भने you lied with an intention. You knew about manufacturing defect, but you said that no, it is not. That's a fraud. So on the basis of that statement, fraudulent statement, you buy a thing, then you have entered into contract on the basis of fraud. Had you known that it has a manufacturing defect, would you buy it? You would not buy it. That's why your consent is not free. अघि मैले भने जस्तै तिम्रो consent चाहिँ यसमा free छैन, किनभने थाहा भएको भए तिमी किन्दैन थियौ, थाहा नभएको हुनाले चाहिँ तिमीले किन्यौ. That's why you do not have a free consent in it. Okay, so fraud is an intention of deceiving someone, or intention of actual lying someone, even if you know the truth, or hiding the fact. You know, hiding the truth is a fraud. Okay, now what is fraud भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ अर्को example, intentional misrepresentation भन्यो भने पनि fraud हुन्छ है फेरि. Intentional misrepresentation. So you did a misrepresentation, you make a false representation with an intention to lie, is also a fraud. त्यसरी पनि गर्न सकिन्छ. Now, what happens is, fraud sometimes what happens is negligent, you know, negligently गर्दाखेरि fraud हुन्छ कि हुँदैन भन्ने चाहिँ there's a question. Now, for example, let's say I'll ask you a question. This is a question to the class. Hey, you went to a store and let's say you want to buy a top or a hat or a sunglasses or a shoes or whatever, or a trouser, right? And the shopkeeper knows that that top that you're trying to buy does not fit you at all. Shopkeeper knows about it. He also knows about that you want to wear that top. मलाई त्यो पनि थाहा छ अनि के पनि थाहा छ भने ठीक हुँदैन भन्ने थाहा छ, तर उले के पनि बोल्दैन, भन्दैन, हैन. More as a buyer, I as a customer, what I do is I just look at it, pull out the top from the hanger, go to the counter, pay for it, and go home. Or let's say that top has a bhang sare. Oh, the shopkeeper लाई थाहा छ त्यहाँ भङ पाल परेको छ भन्ने थाहा छ. Okay, so म के गर्छु भने मैले चाहिँ त्यो भङसँग हेर्दिन, चट्ट टिपेर लान्छु, पैसा तिर्छु, प्याक गर्छु, घरमा लान्छु, घरबाट लाउँदाखेरि दिस बिग भङ, यत्रो ठुलो फल चाहिँ त्यो के भन्छ टी-शर्टमा आयो भने, can I blame shopkeeper for not disclosing that hole in that top? Can I or can I not?
No, sir.
So can I blame the shopkeeper? That means Archana says no, I cannot blame the shopkeeper.
No, sir. You sir त्यो caveat emptor यस्तै के पढेको थियो नि हामीले buyer beware मा हो sir.
Yeah. Or anyone? Why not? किन सेलरले भन्नुपर्ने होइन र त्यत्रो भन्छ भनेर guys, except Archana, I'm asking the rest of the class. Now what happens is, whenever you go to a shop and you want to buy something which you like, what are you supposed to be doing? What you should do? You should be looking at the product. You should be checking the product, isn't it? Shopkeeper मा त धेरै कुरा राखेको हुन्छ हैन, पसलहरुमा त धेरै कुरा राखेको हुन्छ. सो हामी के गर्छौं पसलहरुमा जाँदाखेरि यो कुरा ठीक छ कि छैन, यो कुरा ठीक हुन्छ हुँदैन, मलाई फिट हुन्छ हुँदैन. You should go to a fitting room and check if that fits you or not. So you have to be aware of the things that you are buying. You need to know what you are buying. If you are not aware of the things that you are buying, how can you blame to the shopkeeper? Isn't it your responsibility to check if that t-shirt has a wang or not? Or wang ta bhanu dimagma aunदैन थियो होला. Isn't it your responsibility to look पल्टाइ oh, is it good or not? Default छ कि defect छ कि केही पनि छ कि भनेर हेर्नु त तिम्रो responsibility हो नि. If you do not fulfill your responsibility, if you do not fulfill your job, then you cannot blame to the shopkeeper saying that it is a fraud. त्यो चाहिँ पाइदैन. त्यो चाहिँ भन्न पाइदैन. So if the buyer is not aware of the things he or she is buying, you cannot blame to the shopkeeper saying that it's a fraud. So you have to be aware of the things you are buying. त्यो कुरामा त्यस्तो कुरामा चाहिँ फ्रड हुँदैन भनेर भन्छ कानुनले, लले. So negligent of the injured party. I am the injured party. I as a buyer is the victim party because I am the victim, because I have a wrong bhako t-shirt. Negligent of my is not regarded as a fraud. त्यसलाई के भन्छ अघि अर्चनाले भने जस्तै doctrine of caveat emptor भन्छ. You'll find it in my slide as well. Doctrine of caveat emptor भनेको let the buyer be aware. Let the buyer be aware of the things he or she is buying. उसले के किनिरहेको छ उसको बारेमा चाहिँ उ चासो राख्नु, हेर्नु, properly inspection गर्नु जरुरी छ भन्नु खोजेको. If you do not, then you cannot blame it to the shopkeeper saying it's a fraud. Okay, so that is not regarded as a fraud. Now अर्को कुरा, when it is not fraud, self praise and आफूले praise गर्ने is not a fraud. Okay, self praising yourself is not a fraud. हामीले एडहरु हेर्छौं नि हैन, कति एडहरु हेर्छौं, त्यो एडहरुमा देखाउने कुराहरु चाहिँ there are a lot of things is very ridiculous. Okay, one of the examples, like Fair and Lovely को ad हेरेको छ नि सबैले, छैन हैन? If you see that Fair and Lovely ad, or dark color skin person becomes very fair in 7 days. Tuck, 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 tuck. 7 photo आउँछ. First photo एकदम dark हुन्छ. 7th photo is very fair, very white. And के भन्छ? 7 दिनमा गोरो बनाइन्छ भन्छ हैन? Fair and Lovely. Does it? Does it make you fairer in 7 days? It does not. जस्तै Mountain Dew खाएर एउटा माउन्टेनबाट अर्को माउन्टेनमा हामफाले देखाउँछ. Seriously, can you do that? Oh boy, I don't think so. No. So Mentos खाएर दिमाग की बत्ती जला दे रहे. I don't know what दिमाग की बत्ती जला दे means. I don't think so that you'll be super intelligent once you have Mentos. No way. हाथी बोल्यो कि हाथी छाप चप्पल बोल्यो, उस्तै हो रे. Are you serious? उस्तै हो हाथी र हाथी छाप चप्पल. होइन नि हैन? So what is all that? त्यो के हो त भन्दाखेरि that's a self praise. You're praising your product. you're saying that हात्ती र हात्ती छाप चप्पल उस्तै भन्न थाले हाम्रो चप्पल बलियो छ भन्नु खोज्यो हाम्रो चप्पल चाहिँ हात्ती जस्तै बलियो छ भन्नु खोज्यो बलियो छ हैन at least it's very strong भन्नु खोज्यो Mountain Dew खाएर त्यो माउन्टेनमा जम्प गरेको भन्दाखेरि it gives at least some kind of energy to you so that you know you feel fresh. That's what it's trying to say. You know, Fair and Lovely, if you use it, probably it will help you. It will probably make your skin nice. भन्नु खोज्यो होला Mentos खाएपछि you know it gives us that kind of menthol flavor, so you feel at least you have a निन्द्रा लागिरहेछ भने जुरुक जुरुक you know you feel fresh भन्नु खोज्यो That's what trying to say, but whatever they said, they do not mean it. They're trying to praise their product in such a manner where the customers are attracted and they can buy the products. So they're praising themselves. So praising is not a fraud. Praise आफूले product praise गरेको चाहिँ fraud होइन भन्छ lawले किनभने because this is so competitive market, right? You have to आफूलाई चाहिँ बेस्ट देखाउन हरेक किसिमको प्रकारको मान्छेहरु गर्छन् जस्तै अब I don't know MBA मा मार्केटिङ पढ्नु पर्छ होला हैन you guys will study marketing, so marketing गर्दाखेरि कस्तो कुराहरु गर्ने कस्तो कुराहरु नगर्ने भन्ने पनि पढ्छ होला. So the marketing भनेको के हो, you're trying to praise your product, you're trying to bring your product in the market in such a way where your product is attracted towards the customers and customers buy your product. So to make customers buy your product, you have to have a very brilliant ideas, innovative ideas, very creative ideas. So in that sense you have to praise yourself. Your praising is not fraud. मैले जस्तै for example ल मलाई त लेख्न 5 वटा I know a lot of languages हैन मलाई English, Hindi, German, Russian, Spanish, Urdu, I know so many languages. मैले आफूलाई praise गरे भने that is not a fraud. Now actually म बोल्न जान्छु कि जान्दिनँ भन्दाखेरि मैले गर्ने हो के मैले गर्दाखेरि कसैलाई असर पर्दैन. So praising, self praise is not a fraud. Okay. के क्वेशन छ भने सोध्नु ल बिचमा. Okay, now अर्को चाहिँ अहिले हामीले के पढिरहेको थियौ मिस्टेक अन्डु के फ्री कन्सेन्ट पढिरहेको हैन. सो चारवटा तत्त्व के पढ्यौ हामीले फ्री कन्सेन्टमा कोर्सन, मिसरिप्रेजेन्टेसन, fraud, undue influence. Okay, let's go with undue influence now. Undue influence is an influence by one party to other party, where one party has the dominating character. Undue influence ma duita paksha huन्छन्, where one of the parties has the dominating character, and because of that dominating character, other party is not able to judge or have a thought. उसले त्यो dominating character को characterले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ is not able to justify or give answers or able to give a counter thing. त्यो गर्न नसकेको हुनाले चाहिँ is like does not have a choice rather than to sign a contract. जस्तै for example एउटा पक्ष चाहिँ एकदमै जस्तै टिचर र स्टुडेन्टको कुरा गर्दाखेरि पनि हुन्छ. I as a teacher has a dominant character, don't I? Do you think I have a dominant character? Dominant character in the sense that I'm not dominating you. मैले होच्याएर बोल्ने जे पाए त्यही बोल्ने त्यस्तो भन्न खोजे होइन. But my position is that being a teacher, I have a higher position, right? Because you take it whatever I say it, you write it whatever I say it, you take my words seriously. Okay, you do whatever I say it. So that's why I have a dominating character. That's why मैले जे भन्यो तिमीले त्यही गर्छौ, मैले जे असाइनमेन्ट दियो म गर्दिन यो गर्दिन भन्न पाउँदैन हैन. So that's why I have a higher position, I have a dominating character. So I use my character, मैले त्यो आफ्नो dominating character use गरेर I make you sign a contract. Let's say for example what I do is, let's say I have a मेरो company चाहिँ एउटा त्यसले चाहिँ पेन म्यानुफ्याक्चर गर्छ. what I say is, hey class, I want to buy this pen. Okay, I want you all to buy this pen. And you say, what is the price? I say 15 rupees. But actually that pen cost 10 rupees in the market, but I'm trying to sell it in 15 rupees to you all. And you know that it cost 10 rupees outside. And you don't want to buy it. Why would you want to buy it? Why would you want to pay 5 rupees extra? Now, but what I do is I use my character now. Hey guys, are you sure you don't want to buy it? Exams are coming near. I'm a teacher. I hope you understand that. I just need to say that. I just need to show my character that to that extent only. And then you will understand. Oh yes. Then you make a contract with me. So you entered into a contract on the basis of what? On the basis of influence that I made to you. That influence was unduly done. It was not properly done. It was unduly done. It was dominant kind of influence. Okay, that's why. So certain kind of relationship, just a doctor or patient relationship. Okay, like let's say a lawyer or client relationship. Okay, guru disciple, guru dharmic guru disciples relationship. Your relationship one of the parties has a dominant character, and the party uses that dominant character towards its other character, dominating character, and sign a contract. The contract is based on undue influence. Okay, it is not necessary. Only the dominant character use then it is not a contract on the basis of undue influence. But if has used it and made the other party sign a contract, then the contract is signed on the basis of undue influence. Okay. Now, what happens is undue influence ma euta kura ke huncha bhane dui tinwata kura huncha, which is again important. Whenever एउटा characteristics है undue influence एउटा चाहिँ dominant character हुन्छ position चाहिँ one of the parties has a dominant character, is in the higher position and has an intention to take unfair advantage. Okay, that's second. Third ma चाहिँ relationship of both the parties. Relationship both the parties is a fiduciary relationship. Okay, fiduciary relationship is the relationship that is based on trust, that is based on confidence. Dominant character matra bhar hudaina. Two relationship जस्तै म र मेरो दाइ भनौं न, म र मेरो दाइको बीचमा के सम्झौता हुन थाल्यो भने त्यसमा फिडुसियरी रिलेशनशिप छ कि छैन भन्ने क्वेशन आउँछ हैन। हो, डोमिनेटिङ क्यारेक्टर त छ हैन, इज अ हायर पोजिसन, बलियो छ, मलाई एक मुक्का दिएर लडाइदिन सक्छ हैन। बट हाम्रो रिलेशनशिप फिडुसियरी हो कि होइन भन्ने चाहिँ क्वेशन आउँछ। हाम्रो रिलेशनशिप ट्रस्ट एन्ड कन्फिडेन्स छ कि छैन भन्ने आउँछ। दाइ नै नभनौं न, साथी भनौं न एउटा, लेट्स से मेरो स्कुलको मेरो कलेजको एउटा सिनियर is a very heavy guy, a very well built guy, who dominating character भए पनि हाम्रो रिलेशनशिप चाहिँ फिडुसियरी नहुन सक्छ, ट्रस्ट र कन्फिडेन्स नहुन सक्छ। तर अनड्यू इन्फ्लुएन्स हुनको लागि चाहिँ डोमिनेटिङ क्यारेक्टर पनि हुनु पर्यो, रिलेशनशिपको बेस चाहिँ फिडुसियरी पनि हुनु पर्यो, ट्रस्ट पनि हुनु पर्यो। द्याट्स अघि मैले टिचर र स्टुडेन्ट भनेको कारण त्यही हो। I have the dominant character and our relationship is based on trust. Okay, because you trust me. So undue influence hunalai euta kura dominating character. Next is I should be able to take unfair advantage because of my character. हाम्रो relationship चाहिँ fiduciary relationship हुनु पर्यो। Third ma अथवा fourth ma चाहिँ because of my dominating character and our relationship, the person who is being dominated should not be able to exercise his or her free judgment. उसले चाहिँ आफ्नो free judgment चाहिँ exercise गर्न नपाउनु पर्ने अवस्था हुनु पर्यो। यो भयो भने चाहिँ a contract under undue influence भन्न मिल्छ। Okay, good. अब जस्तै कस्तो हुन्छ, sometimes what happens is as soon as you see the character, it is understood that the person has a dominating character. As soon as you see the parties, you can understand that one of the parties is in the dominating or has the dominating character. But it is understood. जस्तै टिचर स्टुडेन्टको क्यारेक्टरमा कसको डोमिनेटिङ छ भनेर कसैलाई सोध्यो भने, जसलाई पनि सोध्यो भने टिचरको हुन्छ भने जसले पनि बुझ्छ। ओके, डक्टर र पेसेन्टकोमा कसको डोमिनेटिङ छ भनेर यसो सोध्यो भने जहिले पनि डक्टरको हुन्छ भने जहिले पनि बुझ्छ हैन। लयर र क्लाइन्टकोमा लयरको डोमिनेटिङ क्यारेक्टर हुन्छ भने जहिले पनि बुझिरा हुन्छ। इट्स अन्डरस्टुड। But undue influence, there are certain characters which is not seen who has the dominating character. It is not, we are not able to see by just seeing the parties that this party is the dominating character. Just for example, employer or employee, who has the dominating character? Is it the employer or is it the employee? Sometimes even the employee can be or can have a dominating character. Let's say banker or customer, कसको dominating side हुन्छ? Banker को पनि हुन सक्छ, कहिलेकाहीँ customer को पनि हुन सक्छ, right? घरमा बस्ने र घरधनी, भाडामा बस्ने र घरधनी, landlord or tenant मा who has the dominant character? Anyone. Sometimes landlord can have the dominating side, sometimes even the tenant can have a dominating character. Husband and wife मा कसको हुन्छ? Sometimes husband, sometimes wife. But if somebody makes a contract on the basis of undue influence, यो dominating character नदेखिने कुरामा है, charactersहरुमा, if somebody makes a contract under the basis of undue influence, the person, whoever makes the claim, has to prove that the other guy had a dominating character. But in case of where it is already known, हेर्न साथ यसको character dominating छ भनेर थाहा छ भने, it is not necessary to prove that the person has a dominating character. Okay? Confusing छ भने भन्नु है. Otherwise you read and let me know if you want to ask any question. Now mistake एकछिनपछि भन्छु ल, एकछिनपछि I'll tell you mistake in a while. Now मैले चारवटा कुरा भने, coercion, misrepresentation, fraud र undue influence. Undue influence मा र यो सबै कुरामा what happens once you sign a contract? Once you sign a contract, even if your consent is not free, then what happens? हामी किन पढिरहेका छौं त्यसमा यो undue influence? एक हुन्छ free consent. Free consent is caused by, or if these four things, apart from mistake, if these four things are caused in a contract, then the contract does not have a free consent. Then what happens once the contract is signed? कसैले कोर्स गरेर मलाई contract sign गर्यो, it's binding contract. कसैले misrepresentation गरेर contract गर्यो, it's binding. कसैले fraud, it's binding. Undue influence, it's binding. What happens after that? Anyone apart from Archana? के हुन्छ contract?
Will be void, sir, I think.
के हुन्छ?
Void हुन्छ contract.
Void हुन्छ? What is void, Pratima?
Void मतलब त्यो मतलब legally agree छैन मतलब legally.
तर contract त sign गरिसक्यो नि हैन र?
साइन त गरिसक्यो, बट सर त्यो अब लमा त यस्तो थ्रेटनिङ गरेर त कसैलाई एन्टर गर्न सकिदैन नि त कन्ट्र्याक्टमा. एट द एन्ड भोइड नै हुन्छ.
void कसले गर्छ त्यसमा? void कसले गर्छ अथवा टर्मिनेट कसले गर्छ?
लले सर.
आफै हुन्छ?
लले.
लले आफै कसरी गर्छ?
अब लले हेर्छ नि त सर, अब त्यो कन्ट्र्याक्टमा के छ छैन भनेर।
जस्तै प्रतिमा, यु आर माई स्टुडेन्ट है कि, मैले चाहिँ तिमीलाई अनड्यू इन्फ्लुएन्स को क्यारेक्टर युज गरेर आई मेड यु साइन अ कन्ट्र्याक्ट विथ मी हो। नाउ this contract is based on undue influence, right? Your contract and my contract between you and I is based on undue influence. Now, how that contract becomes void? How come? Who goes to the law? Law le afai kasari void garaउँछ त्यसलाई? How does any contract which is based on undue influence becomes void? Law le afai kasari void garaउँछ त? तिमीले जस्तै प्रतिमाले मसँग साइन गरेको कन्ट्र्याक्टमा चाहिँ प्रतिमाले मैले भनेको कुरा किनेन भने अथवा त्यो कन्ट्र्याक्ट साइन गरिसकेपछि त्यो कन्ट्र्याक्टको कन्ट्र्याक्चुअल अब्लिगेसन्स फुलफिल गरेन भने आई विल मेक यु डु इट बिकज यु हेभ साइन्ड इट। एन्ड हाउ द्याट कन्ट्र्याक्ट बिकम्स void?
I don't know, sir.
Okay, that's all right. Aru, anyone? Now, what happens is whenever you sign a contract on the which is caused by these four things, and you don't want to perform it, you don't want to do it. Let's say you keep silent. You don't do anything. Okay, misrepresentation बाट contract, fraud बाट गराएको contract, okay, undue influence बाट गराएको contract अथवा coerce बाट गराएको contract मा चाहिँ you just simply perform the contract. That means that contract is a valid contract. If you simply perform, you do not raise anything on that contract, you do not raise your voice in that contract, you simply perform it or you keep quiet, you remain silent, then that contract becomes a valid contract and it's binding on both. However, if you think that this contract must be made void, यो कन्ट्र्याक्टलाई void बनाउनु भन्ने तिमीलाई आउँछ भने गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने लाग्यो भने then you have to make a claim for it. You are the victim party, isn't it? You signed a contract because of undue influence. You signed a contract on the basis of fraud. You signed the contract on the basis of misrepresentation and coercion. Now, you know that you do not have a free consent in the contract. Now, if you don't have free consent in the contract, then you have to make the victim party or the injured party have to make the contract void. उनले बनाउनु पर्छ, अरु कसैले बनाउँदैन, लले बनाउने हैन, लले आफै void गराउँदैन. The victim party has to go to the law, has to go to the court and make the contract void. That's why a contract in a free consent or free consent contract or contract which does not have a free consent or contract which is contained by these four things are also called voidable contract. Okay, यो करारहरुलाई चारवटा तत्त्वले जुन बनेको करारहरुलाई चाहिँ यो करारलाई चाहिँ voidable contract भनिन्छ. That means voidable, void गराउन सकिने करार, बदर गराउन सकिने करार, voidable contract. So these contracts are voidable contract. Do you understand what I'm saying? Bujirasa?
Yes, sir.
They are not void contracts. Either a void contracts भनिदैन, तर यस्तो खालको करारहरुलाई चाहिँ voidable contract भनिन्छ. जुन चाहिँ void गराउन सकिन्छ, नगराउन सकिन्छ. If you remain silent, then it becomes a valid contract. But if you do not remain silent and you take an action against it, then you can make those contracts void. Okay, that's why it is called voidable contract. Now let's go with the mistake. Mistake भनेको के हो? नेपालीमा के भन्छ mistake लाई? हजुर, yes.
मैले अघि एक्जाम्पल दिएथे नि जुन जग्गाको कुरामा स्वीकृति, त्यो चाहिँ अब त्यसलाई फ्रड मानिन्छ कि मानिदैन?
कुन चाहिँ भने त स्वीकृति क्यान पिछु मैले
अघिको जग्गा कुरामा
नाउ जग्गा खोलाले बगाउने जग्गा खोला त्यो जग्गामा खोला आउँछ कि आउँदैन खोला कताबाट बगिरहेछ भन्ने चाहिँ आँखाले देख्न सकिन्छ नि हैन स्वीकृति यदि यु नो दैट when you go and see जग्गा गएर देखाउँदाखेरि चाहिँ यो जग्गा चाहिँ के भन्छ खोलाले बगाउँछ जस्तो लाग्यो अथवा देखिन्छ भने चाहिँ देखेर पनि यो जग्गामा खोला आउँदैन भने कसैले भन्यो भने चाहिँ त्यो फ्रड नहुन पनि सक्छ तर तिमीलाई चाहिँ खोलाको जग्गा के भन्छ देखाउँ भन्न चाहिँ एउटा जग्गा भन्छ र अर्कै जग्गा देखाउँछ हैन खोला भन्दा 5 किलोमिटर भित्रको जग्गा देखाउँछ तिमीलाई देखाउनलाई चाहिँ तर पेपरमा तिमीलाई चाहिँ खोलाको नेरीको जग्गा दिन्छ भने त्यो चाहिँ फ्रड हो तर तिमीलाई देखाउन खोलाकै जग्गा खोलाकै टाँसीको जग्गा देखाउँछ र उसले के भन्छ भने यसमा त बाढी आउँदैन भनेर भन्छ भने र पछि बाढी आयो भने त्यसलाई चाहिँ फ्रड भन्न मिल्दैन okay because you also know that because the buyer also can feel that यसमा त बाढी आउन सक्छ है भनेर खोलाको नजिकको जग्गा भएको भने बाढी आउन सक्छ भनेर चाहिँ त्यो चाहिँ अजम्पसन गर्न सकिन्छ त्यसलाई फ्रडको रूपमा चाहिँ हेर्न मिल्दैन किनभने हामीले देखिसकेपछि त त्यसलाई कसरी फ्रड भन्ने हैन अनि उले चाहिँ यो भुइँचालो परेर ढल्दैन बाढी आउँदैन हैन भनेर भन्यो भने चाहिँ त्यो आउट अफ कन्ट्रोलको कुरा भयो नि हैन त्यो त्यसैले तर तिम्रै केसमा चाहिँ देखाउन चाहिँ तिमीलाई अर्कै जग्गा देखाउँछ र तिमीले पेपर पाउने बेलामा चाहिँ खोलाको जग्गा पाउँछ भने चाहिँ त्यो चाहिँ एब्सोल्युटली फ्रड हो is this what you asked त्यही यस्तै थियो हैन
हजुर यही हो सर
okay
थ्यांक यू
all right yeah so okay now where did I go mistake लाई के भन्छ नेपालीमा what is a mistake mistake लाई नेपालीमा के भन्छ गल्ती हैन गल्ती is गल्ती simple as that हैन mistake भने गल्ती now mistake र free consent मा कसरी यहाँ आयो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ there are two types of mistake okay bilateral mistake and unilateral mistake excuse me if both the parties in a contract are under a mistake then that's a bilateral mistake if only one of the parties in a contract is under a mistake then that's a unilateral mistake now what you have to understand is if both the parties are under a mistake then that contract is void please understand this if both the parties in a contract are under a mistake if it is a bilateral mistake then that contract becomes void but if it's a unilateral mistake if the mistake is made by one party only then that's a voidable contract okay यो दुईटा कुरा थाहा पाउनु है मिस्टेक भनेको अब के हो गल्ती what is गल्ती when there is no consensus ad idem there's a phrase consensus ad idem भन्ने phrase that the meaning of the phrase is agreeing upon the same thing in the same sense agreeing upon the same thing in the same sense both the parties has to agree upon the same thing and in the same sense if they do not agree upon the same thing and in the same sense then that is called a mistake दुईटै पक्षको बुझाइ एउटै हुनुपर्छ एउटै कुरामा एउटै तरिकामा एउटै वस्तुमा एउटै विचारमा एउटै हुनुपर्छ त्यो भएन भने त्यसलाई मिस्टेक भनिन्छ जस्तै मिटिङ अफ माइन्ड पनि भन्छ यसलाई मिटिङ अफ माइन्ड बोथ द माइन्ड मिट्स इन वान अब्जेक्ट इन वान थिङ जस्तै फर एक्जाम्पल मुभी हेर्न जाने लेट्स गो फर अ मुभी भनेर भन्यो भने एउटा पार्टीले चाहिँ के बुझ्छ सिभिल सेन्टर बुझ्छ अर्को पार्टीले सिटी सेन्टर बुझ्छ now it's a mistake because both the parties understand in a different manner when their mind does not meet when there is no consensus ad idem it is not a contract तो contract है had I known city center, I would not sign a contract भन्छ एउटा पार्टीले, अर्को पार्टीले had I known civil center, I would not go for a movie भन्छ. So their mind has not met at all. If the mind has not met, if the mind does not meet, then it's not a contract, it's void. You bother भयो, हुँदैन. However, but if sometimes एउटा पार्टीले मात्र मिस्टेक गरे हुन सक्छ, गल्ती गरे हुन सक्छ, त्यस्तो कुरामा चाहिँ voidable हुन्छ. जस्तै फर एक्जाम्पल, हे मैले घरमा चाहिँ पिज्जा अर्डर गरेँ हैन, ल म मेरो घर चाहिँ 150 नम्बरको घर हो, यो रोडको हो भनेर चाहिँ मैले पठाएँ भने उले चाहिँ 150 लाई 0 देख्छ, 15 मात्र देख्छ उले. ओके, 15 मात्र देख्छ भने उले हाउस नम्बर घर नम्बर 15 मा पठाइदिन्छ. घरको 15 मा पठाइन्छ, उसको ढोकामा राखिदिन्छ, ढोकामा राखेर त्यो घरको 15 को मान्छेले खाइदिन्छ मेरो पिज्जा. Now, by whose mistake the pizza was delivered? It was not the guy who ordered it, right? It was the delivery guy's mistake. So will I be liable? Will I be liable to pay for that mistake?
No.
That
No,
delivery
right?
guy.
Exactly. It's because it's a unilateral mistake. It was not my fault. It was his fault. It was the delivery guy's fault. So will I be? I'll not be liable to pay for the mistake. So unilateral mistakes are voidable in a success. Okay, I want you to study this and let me know. Okay, a mistake ko kura chai. Mistake ma duita kura pani padnu. Please note it down. Duita kura padnu. Mistake of law or mistake of fact. So, two types of mistake: mistake of law and mistake of fact. Why don't you study these two things? I don't want to go in detail on this. Okay. Now, मैले पठाएको स्लाइडहरु हेरे हो?
Oh, sir.
Okay. Now more specific questions हरु दिन्छु अघि. I want you to study. Please study void contract or voidable contract छ त्यहाँ हैन स्लाइडमा. त्यो पढ्नु अनि त्यसपछि if you can relate that thing with the PDF that I have given, read that as well. है त्यहाँ त्यो PDF मा चाहिँ examples हरु पनि छ, study those examples as well. Now I want you to study void mistake पढ्नु एउटा. Okay, I want you to study voidable contracts, and I want you to study consideration. Okay, please study consideration. The examples here. I want you to study examples and let me know in this next class. I'll ask one by one next week. And I study contractual capacity. Okay, please study contractual capacity. I will ask you question on these issues. Hey, all right. You study void and voidable contract, you study consideration, and you study contractual capacity. Okay, we need to finish in next class. Okay, now indemnity guarantee यसको कुराहरु म पनि पढाइन्छ पछि हैन, next class मा सकेर breach र remedies. So next class we will study whatever assignment that I have given it to you, and antyespachi we'll talk about the rest of it. And you know what? I think I'll syllabus sorry hai sabaisanga. Everybody has syllabus, right? Part 2 ma the 1, 2, 3, 4th bullet ma part 2 ko syllabus ko part 2 contract law ma चाहिँ 4th bullet ma चाहिँ special contracts bhanera cha hai. The indemnity, guarantee, bailment, agency, and sale of goods. Okay, why don't you study those as well? I just have a brief idea on those things. Huncha?
Sir.
Okay. I want you to study अघि मैले दिएको त्यो कुराहरु र study special contracts ma indemnity, guarantee, bailment, agency, and sale of goods. है एउटा दुईटा तीनवटा चारवटा पाँचवटा चाहिँ यो कन्ट्र्याक्ट्सहरु पढ्नु ल and I'll next time say I'll ask you individually hey सबैलाई one by one I want you to study and have some answers ready.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. के question छ अरु? Is there any question that you would like to ask? उचिका अब हाम्रो क्लास रेगुलर हुन्छ नि हैन अब?
हजुर हुन्छ सर.
Okay. Is there anything that you'd like to ask? Question?
अघि हामीले काउन्टर अफरको कुरा गरेको थियौ नि.
Yeah.
अफर गरिसकेपछि त्यो नेगोशिएट गर्ने क्रममा each टाइमको नेगोसिएसनलाई हामीले काउन्टर अफर नै मान्छौं सर?
Yes, negotiation हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ there is always a new offer coming up. Okay. जस्तै negotiation भनेको in the form of bargaining, right? हैन? त्यो bargaining गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ there is always a new offer generated. And it is yes, it's a counter offer. तिमीले कस्तो खालको नेगोसिएसन भने भन त फेरि अर्चना फेरि there are types of negotiation है फेरि dispute settlement गर्दा पनि नेगोसिएसन हुन्छ हगि अनि त्यसपछि भनौं न ठुलठुलो प्रोजेक्टहरुमा पनि नेगोसिएसन हुन्छ त्यो नेगोसिएसनहरुसँग फरक हुन्छ फेरि यो कस्तो खालको नेगोसिएसन भनेर can you please specify on that?
जस्तै अब कुनै पनि मैले जस्तै हाम्रो सिम्पल केही कुरा बेच्न लाग्दाखेरि अथवा एकदम सिम्पल ट्रान्ज्याक्सन्सको केसमा पनि जस्तै अब पैसाहरुको केसमा मैले न 50,000 मा यो फोन दिन्छु भनेर अनि अर्को मान्छेले चाहिँ हैन 45 मा किन्छु भनेर यो हरेक टर्मको जुन नेगोसिएसन हुन्छ हामीले हरेकलाई अफर मान्छौं.
Yeah. The last that becomes that's always an offer. जस्तै अघि मैले भनेको थिए नि हामीले पढेको डिस्क्रिप्सन भित्र ओके हामीले पढेको अफर र एक्सेप्टेन्स को डिस्क्रिप्सन भित्र यदि त्यो पर्छ भने इट इज एन अफर. ओके जस्तै उचिकाले मलाई केही कुरा बेच्नु पर्यो अथवा केही कुरा दिनु पर्यो केही कुरा लेनदेन हुन लाग्यो अझ जस्तै भनौं न फर एक्जाम्पल तिम्रो घरमा म भाडामा बस्न लागि ओके म एज अ टेनेन्ट बस्न यु आर अ ल्यान्डलर्ड आई एम अ टेनेन्ट अनि तिमीले चाहिँ घरको भाडालाई 50,000 भन्यो अनि मैले के भन्छ नि अनि यु अफर मी 50,000 रुपीस लेट्स से फर हैन अनि व्हाट आई सेज नो आई क्यानट पे 50,000 आई क्यान ओन्ली गिभ 40,000 मैले भने that's an I'm making a new offer. तिम्रो 50,000 offer gets terminated. हैन तिम्रो टर्मिनेट भएर जान्छ. There's no more offer in 50,000. अब के सर्भाइभ हुन्छ 40,000 offer सर्भाइभ हुन्छ. So that's my offer is also an offer. So my offer is counter offer. Now what you say now तिमी के भन्छौ हैन म 40,000 हैन 50,000 मात्र दिन सक्छु लिनुमै लिनुस् नलिनुस् भनेर भन्यो भने नाउ मेरो 40,000 अफर फेरि टर्मिनेट हुन्छ अब हगि तिम्रो 50,000 फेरि रिभाइभ हुन्छ. सो यो चाहिँ काउन्टर अफर भएर चाहिँ नयाँ अफर जेनेरेट हुन्छ.
सर यहाँनिर
काउन्टर अफरले चाहिँ पुरानो अफरले हुन्छ. हजुर
यहाँनिर कन्डिसनल अफरलाई पनि इनपुट गरौँ न सर यो एक्जाम्पल
कन्डिसनल अफर जहिले पनि कन्डिसनल हुन्छ हगि एउटा कुरा विचार के गर्नु भने अफर्स आर अलवेज कन्डिसनल. कन्डिसनल भने थाहा छ नि हैन व्हाट इज कन्डिसनल व्हाट डु यु मीन बाइ कन्डिसनल
केही कुराहरु राख्नु सर
के हो कन्डिसनल कन्डिसनल भनेको चाहिँ जस्तै यु नो it's like I will give you my car for free. That is not conditional. I'll give you my car for 1,000 rupees an hour. That's a conditional. Condition राख्यो नि तिमीले हैन म तिमीलाई गाडी दिन्छु तर जेसुकै गरेर मेरो गाडी भन्यो भने that's not conditional. तर तिमीले म मेरो गाडी दिन्छु तर तिमीले 1,000 रुपैयाँ घण्टाको तिर्नुपर्छ भने that's conditional. So if you want my car, you have to pay 1,000 rupees an hour to me. That's conditional. And offers are always conditional. अघि मैले भने offers जहिले पनि conditional हुन्छ. But acceptance is not conditional. Acceptance is unconditional. So you accept the offer as it is. Offer जस्तो छ त्यस्तै रूपमा स्वीकारिन्छ. त्यसलाई चाहिँ acceptance भनिन्छ. मैले किन भनेर अघि भनिसकेको छु नि हैन? I think you know that. अनि उचिका so offer चाहिँ जहिले पनि के हुन्छ last चाहिँ offer हुन्छ. There's always an offer in that. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Conditional offer कसले सोधेको मलाई अहिले?
मैले सर
मनिकले मनिक बुझ्यौ तिमीले?
हजुर सर
Is that what are you trying to say?
हजुर सर
Okay. Now let's stop it for today. Our questions भने भन्नु हैन? Otherwise let's stop it for today. We'll meet you next week. हुन्छ?
सर हामीले यो अफरमा त अफरको टाइपहरु पनि छन् नि त्यो पनि पढा छैन त्यो क्रस अफर समथिङ स्पेसिफिक अफर आई थिंक स्योर कि जनरल अफर त्यो पनि पर्दैन
No, it's not necessary. No, it's not necessary. Don't go in that far. That's all it. अहिले जति पढाएछ त्यति भए पुग्छ. Well, you know what? If you want to study, you can study. किनभने त्यो पनि offers को categoriesहरु हो हैन? It's important if you want to मेरो slide मा चाहिँ छैन हैन? So but if you want to take extra knowledge you can do it. It's good that you do है त? है? Okay, good. Is there any other question? Class, के छ अरु? Okay, I take that as no. I'll see you next week. Right, guys? Bye. See you next week.
Bye bye sir, good night sir.
Bye bye sir.
Good
Bye,
night.
sir.
Bye, sir.
Enjoy. Bye. Stay safe, guys. Bye.